sleep, right? So then why? They will explain. And what is the level of sleep? So there is a the brain waves when we sleep. Now they will explain about the three different levels like alpha, theta, and delta. And also there is a stage of the sleep. Stage 1 and stage 2, what they will do, and also stage 3 and stage 4, then what they will do. So they will explain about it. Okay. And also hopefully they explain about LAM. And then when we sleep, we dream, right? Then what does that mean? So they will explain. And insomnia, you already know that why we cannot sleep. And in insomnia, just, it's difficult to sleep. Okay, then how to treat for this. Parasomnia also, sleep, but partially sleep. But for example, like when some people they sleep, they sleep, but they walk. So we call this sleepwalking. And this is all the kinds of disorders. Okay. And this is the substances use disorder. Normally, we talk about the drugs. Then there's when you look at these figures, we can divide like that. And under this, for example, depressions, there is different types of categories that we can divide. Okay, and this is all the different drugs, and nicotine and caffeine also influence on our sleep. This hallucinogens is like you see the how can I say the different how can I say when people they have a drugs, then they see something different, right? This is the brain works differently. Okay, hypnosis is also in psychology. When we find out some clues, we use the hypnosis. But this one, everyone cannot have this as hypnosis, because some people can easily go into the deeper situation. So, but some people they can't. This is the case by case. And the other one is meditations. We use the meditation to release our stress, yeah, I think this is the state of consciousness. I'm not sure the students cover all this. However, I'm going to share this in a I don't think you can find this file. You can find the other. I don't think you have this file, but you can find the sensory part. So I'm going to upload this after class. Okay. And then the other one is sensation and perceptions. Let's say it, this is the sensory systems. Yeah, we already know like vision and hearing, smell, taste and touch. But also we include the balance, body positions, movement, pain, and temperature. we also, include this under the sensory systems. And perception is, how when we have a sensory information, but how we interpret this. This is perceptions. For example, like when you look at this picture, I think somebody's okay. So somebody interpret this as a 6, but this person interpret as a 9. So even though you see the something one situation at the same time, but that these people can interpret differently. This is what we call perception. You is why. And when we interpret the situation, our brain can proceed like bottom up and down, top down process. So this is if you use the bottom up process, then for example, this is the example that what am I seeing, and try to interpret, normally based on the sensory information. However, if you process the situation using the top down, then you use the previous experience. You interpret using the previous experience, like, is that something I've seen before? Like that. So this is you use the some expectation or your ideas from the previous experience. So when you see the same situation, the using the different processing, you interpret differently. And this one is the sensory adaptation. For example, like this picture, when you move in this area, like near the airport, the first day or second day, you can't sleep because it's too noisy. But later on, after maybe 1 year, 6 months, then your sensory will be down. So, I mean, you can't really realize that the noise. Similar example that when you, let's say when you smell the perfume, and then you use that perfume, but you can smell at the beginning, but later on you can't smell the perfume. This is the sensory adaptations. The other one is attention. This is affecting the perception. And this one is attention. This is the same picture like here, but if we focus on the here, the middle of picture, you can't miss this. You miss this information. Okay, so we call this one inattentional blindness. All right. And motivation also affecting our perceptions. All this the student will explain. It's very easy. And this one we call molar layer illusions. This line, actually this one is the same line. Okay, this one and that, but because of the end different shape, so we interpret this is longer than this, but actually the line here from here to here is the same, and this one also same. When we see, so when you imagine that you are here, but when you look at the edge, because we have this, we felt that this way is longer than here. So this one is representative example, like classical example of the perceptions. I guess people will, because we are talking about the sensory part, so people will, explain about the hearing and visions. For example, like this, this is we call the wavelengths, but different this I think this is nanometer. The short wavelengths actually looks like a blue, medium green, and long nanometer is red. So when the different wavelengths has a different colors. So when you look at the wavelengths, we feel that as a color perception. Okay, and all this about the wave and about the colors. Okay. Vision. Also, this is all talking about the like it's like anatomies, how we can see the objects. So this is all the the anatomy part. And this one is the opponent process theory. For example, when you look at this part, let's say the 30 to 60 seconds, and see the white paper, then you cannot see the white. You will see the like different colors. So this one we call opponent process theory. Okay, actually the color vision, there's two different theories, but this one doesn't compete, but just complementary theories that explain why we look at how do we the perceive the colors. And this one, okay, hearing. Also, this is all the anatomy things, so I'm not gonna explain. Student will explain. When we hearing loss, yeah. So there is congentional deafness is when you're born, you already got deaf, and this one, conductive hearing loss, is if you enjoy the what's this is rock music and then work in a constructive area, then you might lose your hearing later. And this one's chemical sense, right? And taste, smell, all this is sensory part. And touch, okay. Also, how can we, feel? This is the skin, okay. And also we feel the body temperatures and pain. Also, vestibular sense means to maintain our balance and the posture. And this one, can you remember the Gestalt psychology? This one, for example, when you look at this picture, what can you see? When you look at this picture, what can you see first? Can you see first the two face, or can you see this is the base? Which one? So this one relate to the background and figure. So some people interpret differently, right? So so our brain cannot see this one as a mixed one. We see only one based on the what figure or background, okay? And also one of Gestalt, the psychology, they insist about the proximity. That means look at here, everything is the same line, right? But B, there's some distance. However, when we look at these two, we try to, it's not right. We tended to the group all together, so it look like A, even though there is some distance. And the other example is this. This here is yellow, blue, but we are trying to group in a same colors. Okay, even though this is all in a different, you know, different color in a different location. However, we are trying to make the group is a same color like this. So this is one of the principles of Gestalt psychology. And this one also, people are looking at this too, just a continuous line. Like, so people perceive this, there's two line. However, not many people perceive like all this maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, four lines here, but people don't perceive as a four line, they perceive as a two lines. Okay, this one we call continuity. And this another example that some people are trying to make, even though this is a separate, but people perceive as a try to make the circle, so, and try to make a rectangle like this. This one we call the crosser. The last one is very classical examples that what can you see? Can you see dog or can you see rabbits? But what can you see? So even though, we are looking at the one picture, maybe some people say, oh, this is dog. But some people think, no, this is a rabbit, right? So that means, perception, actually, we cannot really trust about our perceptions, okay? Because they don't, so our perception don't really look at the reality, okay? So this perception based on our experience or our expectations, or our knowledge, all this, we put together and then interpret the situation. So actually, but all the this information we get through the sensory part. Okay, so when somebody, many people, like let's say 10 people see the accident, for example, then even though they saw the same accident, several people, they interpret differently. Okay, this is because of that. Okay, all right, already 26 minutes. So I hope the group 1 and group 2 covered the more detail about these topics. Okay, can we start? Because already 26 minutes passed. All right, group 1, are you ready? I'm going to start sharing. Do you have any question?
Yes, doctor.
No, okay. Okay, group 1, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, I will also. All right. Okay, yesterday, what I realized that when I make their table, it was the total number of students was 52. But now when I check the Maya, now it's 59. That's why I have the extra line for 7 people. And then so please, the 7 students should edit your name in a group, okay? But not group 1 and group 2 because they already started to prepare the presentation. So you can choose the topic and select the group. You also need to talk with your team members. I guess already the other people already have their own topics, but so you might need to find something different, but under that topic, okay? So please do. Okay, Guru One, can you please share your slide? I think this week the students maybe it will be difficult to prepare their topics, but let's see. Okay, not this one. Where is okay. Okay.
Uh, can we start now?
Yes, please. Anyone? Okay. I think this is first time to present with me, right? I hope everyone please edit your matrix number in each slide because I don't want to make a mistake to evaluate your presentation. All right. So to double check, have you really the your matrix number in each slide? Okay. Did you do that?
No.
Oh no. That's why, I cannot remember all your matrix number, right? So next time, can you do that?
Yes, can.
Okay, right. Then you have to tell me about your matrix number first. Okay.
All right.
So are you gonna follow this order?
Yes.
Okay. So now the first one, uh, Mark
Marcy.
Marcy. Okay, Marcy, are you gonna do right? But before you do your presentation, please let me know your, matrix number first, okay?
Okay. Can.
Uh, so, Marcy, I'm going to check this as a first presenter. All right. Okay, you can start.
Okay. Good afternoon, Dr. Iris and all of my friends. For today, we will be presenting about sensation and perception. So here's a little short introduction to what we will present today. Sensation and perception are key concepts in psychology that explain how we experience the world. Sensation is when our sensory organs detect stimuli like light, sound, and touch. Next, perception is how the brain organizes and interprets these. Alamak, wait, why is sorry? Interprets these signals into meaningful information. While sensation collects raw data, perception helps us understand it. Together, they allow us to recognize objects and understand our surroundings and interacting with others. Okay, so sensation and perception, they always work together and we use them every second without even realizing it. Sensation and perception basically they help us to react quickly, understand people and make decisions. For example, like a very simple example is when we see our friend from afar, like waving, our eyes detect it. So that is sensation. And then our brain will understand that it is actually a greeting. So that is where perception happens. Without perception, we would see things, but we cannot understand what they really mean. Okay. So next slide, which is what is sensation? I cannot see the slides. Okay. What is sensation? The sensation is the physical process where sensory receptors detect external or internal stimuli and transduce them into neural impulses which are sent to the brain. All of our senses transform physical stimulation into neural impulses, what gives us sensation. So a very simple step-by-step process is where First thing is the stimulus, something happen around us, and then our sensory receptors will detect it, and then the signal, electrical signal, will send to the brain. So basically, sensation is like collecting raw data before the brain understands it. Okay. Also, if there's no stimulus, there is no sensation. Okay, I'm gonna give you another example of sensation is ASMR. So when we hear ASMR sounds like tapping or whispering, our ears are detecting the sound. So this is just sensation because it is just receiving the stimulus. And then the relaxing feeling comes later, which is perception, where my friend will explain it a little more detail after this. Okay, in the next slide, I will talk about the senses. There are five basic senses here, which is touch, taste, hearing, sight, and smell. So for touch, it detects pressure, temperature, and pain. Touch helps us to avoid danger like hot objects or sharp objects. And then next is taste. It helps us to detect flavors. Here are the five basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. And next is hearing. Hearing helps us to detect sounds, help us understand speech and music. Without hearing, it is harder to understand speech, and it is very important for communication also. And the fourth one is sight, or you can call it as vision. It detects light using the eyes, help us to see colors, shapes, and movement. We use we use vision when walking, studying, or recognizing face, and sight is the most important senses for humans. And the last one is smell, olfaction. It detects a different sense in air, help us notice and recognize smell. And um, a little extra knowledge, sometimes a smell can help us remind of past experience. And all these senses will send information to the brain, but this stage is still sensation. It's not perception yet. Okay. In conclusion, for these five senses, sensation is the first step of how we experience the world. It allows us to detect different stimuli through our senses. And without sensation, we wouldn't be able to receive any information from our surroundings. Okay, the next slide, which is sensory system function. Here are five: balance, body position, movement, pain, and temperature. Balance helps us stay upright, stable, and it is controlled by our inner ear. It helps us standing without falling. Next is body position, proprioception. Tells us where body parts are and even without looking. So for example, like touching our nose with our eyes closed. And then the third one is movement. Detects how our body parts are moving, works together with muscles and joints. For example, we know that our legs are moving while walking. The fourth one is pain. It warns us of injury or danger, helps protect the body from something sharp. Um, the feeling pain when we touch something hot or sharp, this pain will help us to protect our body. And the last one is temperature, detects hot and cold and helps maintain body balance. And yeah, this sensory system help our body stay aware, safe, and in control. So that is all from me, Marcy, Elsa, Valerina, Kennedy. 250068001.
Marcy, very
Yes.
clearly you present, very clear. And then, I can see, how can I say, I can see that you prepared well. Is there any, when you prepare your part, is there any new knowledge that you learned?
Actually, I didn't know this five are like one of our sensory system.
Mm.
The balance, body position, movement, pain, and temperature. I only know the basic like sight, hearing, taste.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. All right. All right. Any other, do you have any questions to Mashe? I'm asking to students. I think she present a very basic knowledge about sensory part. So I don't think it's we have the other questions for it. All right, Marcel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, who is the next?
Hi, doctor. I'm Loy Singing.
No, 70, okay.
25005720.
Fine.
I'm
Two
using
five zero.
金柔师
Lu,
mic because I cannot open my mic.
I mean your student ID. When I check, I want to check with you first. 25004831. Is that correct?
No.
What is the
2500
uh
5720.
5720? Oh, why you
Yeah,
put
but
Xinning in a the group list? You put that as a Xing Actually, Xing Ying. I think Qing Ying and you are maybe confused in a group list because I have the group list with me. So anyway, 25005720 is your matrix number. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay. I'm going to change. All right, you can proceed.
Okay, so I gonna explain about perception. So perception is basically a mental process that elaborates and assigns meaning to the incoming sensory patterns, process by which the brain organizes and interprets sensory information. And it helps us to understand the environment and the world. So basically, when sensation is like our brain collect the information from the environment, and then perception is like our brain how our brain understand the information that collected. Okay, next. Okay, can anybody tell me what do you guys see from this picture?
I
Two
think
faces, some goblin.
I think you have a same same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so okay. Okay, so some people may saw two faces, and some people may saw this object in the middle. I don't know what is this. Okay, so why people see it different? Because perception is subjective. So different people can have different perception by seeing a same picture. Okay, so there are some factors that can affect our perception. Here I just list down three, but actually has many. So first, we have experience is what you have learned before. For example, a doctor sees an X-ray differently than a student. because a doctor can see immediately perceives a fracture or disease by see x-ray, but for a normal person or student, they only sees unclear black and white shapes. So because of experience and training, the doctor's brain interprets the information differently. Okay, so next is expectation. It's like what you expect to see is what your brain interprets, and that's what you understand from when you see some stimulus from the environment lah. Okay, so for example, in the dark, you may think a shadow is something scary, and for some people, they may think it's
Hello.
I think the internet connection.
Rose, are you okay, Rose?
We lost her. Lucy. Lucy, are you there? I think we lost her.
hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Okay. Uh, So we move on to next, third one. Can you guys hear me? 听不到我。
Can,
Yes, we are
can, we
hearing
can hear
you.
you.
Can? Okay, okay. Okay, motivation. Okay. So basically what you need or what you want is what your brain interprets. So for example, if you like going to the class and you suddenly you walk and then you smell something, okay, because you are hungry, so you notice or smell the food more easily. Okay. And then next. Okay. So the brain does not directly interact with the external world. So instead, sense organs convert stimuli into neural signals, and the brain interprets these signals to create our perception of reality. So how does the stimulus convert into neural signals is through the transduction, which is the sensory process that converts energy into form of neural messages. So it's like our brain does not actually see light or hear sound or feel the objects directly. Instead, our senses, the sense organs, such as the eyes, ears, nose, and skin, detect the stimuli from the environment. So these sense organs then convert the stimuli into neural signals which are the electrical messages sent to the brain, and the brain receives these signals and interprets them, allowing us to understand what we're seeing, hearing, or feeling. Okay, this interpretation is what we call perception. Okay, so this is the transduction process. Okay, so first, the stimulus is present. A physical stimulus occurs like light, sound, or smell, and then it detected by our sense organ like ears and eyes, and then it activates the sensory receptor, which is a specialized cells called receptors respond to the stimulus, and then it convert into a neural signals. Uh, when it converts to the neural signals, the step is called transduction. Okay, and then the transmission to the brain, the neural impulse travel through our sensory neurons to our brain, and then the brain process the signals. Okay, it receives and then it process the signals, and then the perception is formed. Okay, the brain interprets the signals and gives them meaning for what we see and what we touch, like that. Okay, so next, this is the okay. So I will explain how perception leads to actions. Okay, so first in the sensation stage, our sensory receptor detect a stimulus. For example, when we see a dog, our eyes detect light. Okay, so and then in the perception stage, the brain interprets this information. The brain decides what the dog is and whether it is safe or it's dangerous. Okay, and then finally in the response stage, the brain sends signals to the body to react. So for example, two people may see the same dog differently. So for one person may think the dog is friendly, so they will go and touch them. So for another person may think the dog is like scary, so the brain interprets that the dog is scary or dangerous, so the person will like run away. Okay, so this shows that even with the same stimulus, different perception can lead to different actions. Okay, so yeah, that's all for me.
All right. Lucy, very good.
No, I'm singing.
You are singing.
Yes.
Okay.
Her name is singing, doctor. She's not singing.
Oh, not Lucy. Oh,
No, because I'm sharing the screen, so just now I cannot open the mic. So I use Rosie
okay. That's
mic to
why,
talk.
makes me confused. So that's why please edit your
Sorry,
metric number later. The second presentation. It makes me confused. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, singing anyway. Okay. You prepared well. Did you learn something from new knowledge from your presentation, like when you prepare?
Yeah, because I always thought that what we see is like directly our brain interprets.
Mm.
So I didn't know it has so much process, like this transaction process. Yeah, I always thought it's like what we see is what we the reality.
Mm. So Xin Ying's the summary is like this. Even though like she gave us the example of a dog, even though you will see the same dog, the two different people interpret differently, right? This is how we interpret the situation and from the brain. So we call this a perceptions. So that's why we actually cannot really trust our perception 100%, that some people believe that is true, but actually not, because our brain works differently. Works different means we the interpret differently, even though we see the same situation, same stimulus. Okay, this is what I think Xingying's message, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Fine.
thank you so much.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, who is the next presenter?
Hi, good afternoon, doctor.
Now you are the Loishi.
Yeah, I'm Rosie.
Okay.
25004831.
Okay. All right.
Okay, good afternoon, doctor and my friends. Today, I will be explaining two types of processing in sensation and perception, which are bottom-up processing and top-down processing. These two processings help us understand how the brain interprets sensory information from the environment. So first is bottom up. Let's talk about the bottom up processing. Bottom up processing is when perceptions start from sensory input. This means informations come from our senses, like our eyes or ears, and then travel to the brain for the interpretation. In simple terms, it goes from outside to inside or from data to brain. For example, imagine you see a word that you have never seen before. You will read it letter by letter, slowly trying to understand it. This is the bottom-up processing because you are relying only on the information coming from your senses, not your past experience. There's some keywords on the bottom-up processing. It is data-driven. It starts with the stimulus, and it does not require prior knowledge. And it is usually more accurate, but it can be slower. Next, let's move on to top-down processing. Top-down processing is when our perception is influenced by our experience, expectation, and prior knowledge. In this case, information flows from the brain to the senses or from the experience to the interpretation. For example, can you all try to read the pink words on the slide? Can anyone tell me what you read?
ILVOE psychology. I love psychology.
Yeah, basically it should be I love psychology, but if you read, it's supposed to be I love psychology, but if you get just, that means you are using the top-down processing. So even though the letters are wrong, your brain use it is knowledge of English to fix the image. If you are robot using bottom-up processing, you will only see like ILVOE and so on and be confused. So another example is when we see a blurry image and still recognize it as a dog. This happened because our brain is making a prediction based on what we already know. So there are also some keywords of top-down processing. It is concept driven. It uses past experience. It is faster, but sometimes less accurate. It can also lead to mistake, especially in illusions. So to compare both processes, bottom-up processing start with sensory input, while top-down processing start with the brain. Bottom-up does not rely on experience, but top-down depends heavily on it. And lastly, bottom-up is slower but more accurate, while top-down is faster but can sometimes be wrong. In conclusion, both bottom-up and top-down processing are important. In real life, they usually work together to help us understand the world around us. Bottom-up provide the raw data and top-down help us interpret it quickly and efficiently. That's all for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Do you have any question to Lucy? I think she gave us the very good example of I love psychology things. Yeah, this is actually, you know, one of the classical examples of explaining of this to process. Do you have any questions to Lucy? Because Lucy loves questions. Right, Rosie? No?
Oh, doctor, I need to ask that question.
Okay. No. No, I'm asking other students to ask some question to you because you love questions to answer. Okay, because you know, what else I can ask? Have we ever know about this process before, Lucy?
I did notice this process, but I don't know it actually works like this.
Ah, so when you prepare now, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. At least you know when we finish this semester, you have some knowledge about the psychology, especially you know this brain, how to works the brain, right? Okay. Actually, I'm not sure what kinds of question do I have to ask you, because all right, I think it's okay. All right, next.
Okay, hi everyone. I am Pyong Xiao Han, and my matrix number is written down there.
Okay, very good.
I added in my every slides. Okay,
Very
good evening everyone. And today I will be talking about threshold and what it is, the different types, sense modality, the factors that affect it, and how it actually shows up in our daily life. Before we begin, just think about this. Have you ever missed a notification even though your phone rang? Or not noticed a small change in volume? These everyday experiences are actually related to threshold. First, what is threshold? Threshold refers to a minimum level of stimulus needed for us to detect something. In other words, it shows how sensitive our senses are. For example, how quiet a sound can be before we hear it, or how dim a light can be before we see it. The first type is absolute threshold. This is the weakest stimulus that we can detect half of the time. Why we say 50%? This is because our detection is not always accurate. Sometimes we notice the stimulus and sometimes we don't. For example, if there is a very soft sound in a quiet room, sometimes you hear it, but sometimes you don't. This shows that our senses are not perfect and can change depending on the situation. This also means that our senses are always working around a limit. If the stimulus is too weak, it falls below our threshold and we simply cannot detect it. So, there are actually many stimuli around us that we are not aware of because they are below our threshold. An absolute threshold is affected by several factors. The first factor is attention. This means if you are paying attention, then you'll be able to sense things. The second factor is fatigue. This means if you are feeling tired, your sensitivity will decrease. And the third factor is expectation. When you expect to see something, you are more likely to notice it. The last factor is the environment. This means if you are in a noisy place, then you will not able to hear things. So, detection depends not only on the stimulus but also on the person and situation. Next, I will briefly explain about the sense modality. Sense modality refers to the type of sensation we experience, such as vision, like hearing, taste, smell, and touch. So the table below and shows the absolute threshold for different sense modalities, which means the minimum level of stimulus that we can detect. For vision, which is light, it shows that we are able to see a candle flame from about 30 miles away on a dark and clear night. And for hearing, which is sound, we can detect the sound of the ticking watch from about 20 feet away in a quiet environment. And for taste, we can detect for taste, we are able to detect 1 teaspoon of sugar in 2 gallons of water. Even a very small amount of sweetness can be noticed. As for smell, we can detect 1 drop of perfume spread throughout a large apartment. Finally, for touch, we can feel something as light as a bee wing falling on our cheek from a very small distance. As we can see from this table, each sense modality has its own sensitivity level. However, all senses can detect even a very small amount of a stimulus. This also tells us that our brain identifies sensation based on which sensory system is activated. So the second type is difference threshold, also known as just noticeable difference or JND. This is defined as the smallest amount of stimulus that we are able to detect. For instance, the volume of your typing will suddenly increase, and your phone's brightness will decrease automatically when you are under the sun. Have you ever experienced this? Especially someone that use iPhone, right? So this is a very important concept related to difference threshold is Weber's law. This law explains that we detect difference is based on the proportion, not the exact amount. For example, if you're carrying 5 kg and someone's at 1 kg, you probably won't notice. You will notice the difference. However, if you're carrying 50 kg and someone adds 1 kg, you will not feel the difference. This means the larger the original stimulus, the larger the change needed to detect it. Threshold is actually something we use in our daily life without realizing it. For example, when we adjust our phone brightness or volume, we're trying to find a level that we can clearly notice. Or even in business, small price changes may or may not be noticed by customers. In sports, athletes also rely on detecting very small changes in movement, timing, or performance. So, threshold is not just a theory, it's something we experience every day. So, in a small conclusion for threshold is a minimal level needed for us to notice a stimulus. There are two types, which are absolute threshold and different threshold. It can be affected by factors like our attention, condition, and environment. Overall, threshold helps us understand how we detect and respond to the world around us. And next, I'm going to talk about sensory adaptation. So sensory adaptation refers to a decrease in sensitivity when a stimulus stays the same for a long time. So in simple terms, our senses get used to constant stimulation, so we stop noticing it. This happens because our sensory system focus more on changes rather than things that remain constant. For an example, when someone in the same room with you uses a perfume, you could smell the aroma at the beginning, but after a while, you stop noticing it. This is because our sense of smell has adapted. So, sensory adaptation helps us ignore unimportant information and pay attention to new or changing stimuli. So, this is all from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Um, what can I ask you? Mm, do you think this is sensory adaptation is very important for us?
Mm, I think yes.
Why?
Yes. Sometimes, like we sit for like the same posture for a long time, we'll feel like very, how to say, sometimes we'll feel like pain or how to say, it's like a protect, like how to say, we'll feel muscle pain. It's like the soreness. I don't know. I think everybody will like experience this before. When you sit for a same posture for a long time, and then your leg will feel like very sore, and then it's like a protective for to decrease muscle soreness and muscle pain.
Hmm?
It's like a
Is there a good,
environmental.
is there a good example for the sensory adaptations?
Mm, sensory adaptation.
I don't think that is a good example. Can you find another one?
Let me think.
I know it's.
Hmm, is it like need to be specific which field or?
You know, like I said before, for example, you are living, let's say that you're living in the next to the railroad, you know, railroad.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time the train, you know, pass your home, your house, because
Mm-hmm.
you are very near, you are living there. And then you know, but when you live there for a long time, you don't really feel or, you know, recognize that train passed away every time, you know, every time you know, you don't every time. So you don't really realize it anymore, because this is the decreased sensitivity. So, but if we don't have this, then every time the train pass your house, you feel you feel the pain. It's the pain means like it's very noisy, so it's very difficult to, you know, live there. Do you understand? But you already stay there for a long time, and then your sensory, the, you know, sensitivity already decreased. So later on, even though the train pass, you don't really realize it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why you can still stay there,
Yeah.
or live there. Um,
Mm,
right. This
I
is
think one
uh,
example.
oh, you found the one example, okay?
Yeah, it's like when athletes, some athletes will like have a cold bath, like a lot of ice,
Mm,
and then after a while it feels like normal because your body will adapt to the cold temperature.
mm.
Yeah, and that's it, I guess.
Mm. So, so I mean, do you think this sensory adaptation is good for us?
Sometimes yes, I think, and sometimes no. It's
Okay.
like, yeah,
Why?
because if yes is just like doctor said, when you live beside a train or railway, and you will get used to the noisy sound of the train.
Mm.
And if the good part is for the athletes for that have the cold bath, and then you will like feel less pain when you for like the freezing feeling.
Mm. You know, the surprisingly, our body adapt how to survive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our body
Mm-hmm.
adapt the situation or the environment. How we our body know how to survive. You know, is I think the sensory adaptation, I guess, is good for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other questions, students?
Yes, doctor. I would like to add on to Xiaohan's topic.
Oh, Dao Shu, I like you very much. Okay.
Just now you said like it's mostly positive, right?
Yes, yes.
But I thought of some negatives for sensory adaptation. For
Ah,
example,
okay.
If our surrounding area we hear the burning alarm, the fire
Mm,
alarm every
mm,
time because it's broken, nobody wants to fix it. So we
mm,
hear it every day and it becomes a normal thing. So when a real fire breaks out, then
mm,
everyone thought the alarm is broken. So nobody would like to like go and check or something. So yeah, they all would probably be burned to crisp.
mm. Okay.
So is this considered the bad side of sensory adaptation?
Mm, okay, I guess so. Yeah. We cannot say absolutely this one is 100% good or, you know, bad. We cannot say like this, right? But sometimes it's based on the situation. Okay, the sensory adaptation is good, but sometimes the very bad. Mm, okay, that's good. All right, that's all. Very good. Okay, I think we still have one person to present about this topic.
Yes, doctor.
All right.
I'm Soleha. My metric number is 25004673.
Okay.
And today, now I will talk about how and why our senses are different and why our senses can sometimes be wrong. So, for your information, this happens to everyone in our daily life, especially in unclear situations like darkness or even a stress situation, because our brain tries to interpret information quickly, even though even though our senses only provide a basic data. Um, Let me start with a simple question. Have you ever argued with your friend about something like, oh, this food is too salty, but your friend says, no, it tastes normal? Or maybe you saw something scary in the dark, but it turned out to be nothing actually. So why does this happen? It it happens because of we all have the same senses, but we don't experience them in the same way, and sometimes our brain can even trick us. Before I explain more about this, let's understand one idea. I don't want to touch this in detail, but we need to understand this one idea because my friend, project members already explained about this. One is sensation is when we receive info like seeing or hearing, and perception is how our brain understand that information. Okay. So two people can have the same sensation, but they will have the different perception. Okay, now how our senses are different. Okay, the first reason is sensitivity differences. Some people are more sensitive than others. Let's say some people cannot stand loud music, but others enjoy concert with very loud sound. Um, for your information, have some person who can even sleep well in loud sound in a concert until the concert end, because everyone is experience it differently even though the sound is the same. So the second reason is the past experience. um what we experienced before can change how we feel now. For example, if someone had a bad experience with dogs, maybe they ever been bite by the dog or being chasing by the dog, they may feel scared even if the dog is friendly because they had trauma in the past. Maybe if they see the dog, they like remember how the scared they feel. But maybe another person may feel happy and excited if they see the dog. So experience will changes the perception. The third reason is culture difference. People from different cultures experience senses differently. Let's say some foods smell very good in one culture, but may feel strange in another culture or unpleasant in for other people. So uh, our background also can affect our senses. The fourth reason is physical or biological differences. Is about our body condition. Um, Maybe some people are color blind, so they cannot see certain colors. Maybe they can only see the black and white color, but they cannot see the blue, orange, or red color. So, and maybe some people have stronger taste, so they are more picky with the food. Also, one another example is as people grow older, their hearing or vision may become weaker. So biologically, we are not exactly the same. So the perception will be different. Next slide, please. I can't see the slide. Okay. Now I will talk about why our senses can be wrong. Okay. The first reason is brain will feels missing information. Um, uh, for example, in a dark place, you might think that you see a person, but actually it's just a shadow. So we see that our brain is guessing, and sometimes the guessing will be wrong. Okay, so the second reason is context affects perception, which context will change what we see. Um, Maybe you see a person may look tall among short people, but look normal among tall people. So our brain compares instead of saying it clearly. The third one is the expectations, where expectations will affect our perception. So, um, let's say if you watch a horror movie at night, um, uh, even the small sound will feel very scary. But when you see the horror movie at the day, the same sound feels very normal. So from there we can see that what we expect from the sound will changes what we feel. Okay, so the fourth one is illusion, when our brain is tricked. So sometimes two things look different, but actually they are the same. This shows that saying is not always believing. Our brain is actually interpreting, not just saying the thing. Lastly is our emotions also will affect our perception. Let's say when you are stressed or you're tired, small noises feel very annoying. But when you are relaxed, the same noise doesn't bother you at all. You can even sleep in the loud noise. But when you are stressed, when you are in pressure, you are not even can hear the loud sound. You feel very annoying about that. So our feeling will change how we experience things. Uh, for your information also, this is very important in our real life. For example, in your driving, wrong perception can cause accident. Let's say the person who is driving misjudge the distance and speed, it can cause accidents. So it will be very, very dangerous. Also in our daily life, we may misunderstand people. For example, we think someone is angry, but actually they are just tired. So we must remember that our perception is not always correct. So to conclude, even though we all have the same senses, we experience them differently because of sensitivity, experience, culture, and biology. At the same time, our senses also can be wrong because our brain interprets information using context, expectation, and emotions. So we don't just see um, the world as it is. We see it based on how our brain understands it. So that's all from me.
All right, thank you so much. I think Guru one generally very good. Prepare your parts. I'm very happy about this. And so Soliha.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, I would like to ask you one question. Can you go to the slide about the cultural differences? Oh, here. Okay, this is just question, okay, to evaluate your part. Okay, can you give us the one more example about the cultural differences based on the senses?
Uh,
with Dr. Lemmy thing.
Okay.
Um, for like like um in Malaysia,
Mm-hmm.
this is for smell. In Malaysia, many people love durian and think it smells good, but for people from Western countries, often think it smells very bad. So you can say that the same smell can be pleasant for one culture, but maybe feel strange for for another culture or for others from another country.
Mm. Okay. That's a good example.
Okay.
All right, but I'm Korean, but I like durian. I also, introduce whenever, my friends or my family comes, I always introduce durians to them because we don't have any durian in Korea. Um, but like you said, some people like, but some people they don't like the smell. But because I think it's because of it's very familiar with you about the smell, right? So, but if we smell the first time, maybe the people from other countries, they might not like the smell. Okay, thank you so much. I really love the group one, and then I think of 5 students they prepared very well. As I told you before, I'm going to give you the extra 3 marks for each of each of presenters. Okay, thank you. Okay, can we have some break? Maybe 15 minutes because I think this group 1 and group 2 only 10 people present. So we still have some time. Can we have a 15 minutes break and then come back and do the group 2 presentation? I think it's very useful and I like anyway I like the group 1 presentations. I also expect group 2 will be a good. What do you think? Can we have a break? 15 minutes?
Doctor,
Okay,
Yes.
doctor, no problem, no
do we
problem.
need to submit the presentation slide to the spectrum?
Yes, individually.
Oh,
So
okay.
everyone has a different part, right? Because this will be your evidence that you did your presentation. Do you understand? So you just convert it into PDF and upload your part individually. Okay, please do today because you already done your presentation. Thank you. And then okay, okay. Then can we take a rest for 15 minutes? All right. See you soon. Sorry. Meanwhile, group 2, can you please prepare your presentation? Thank
We
you.
are ready.
Okay. All
Are my
right.
group members ready?
Okay.
Okay, let me present. Wait, oh no.
So state of consciousness. So you have 5 members, right?
Yes, we have 5 members. Okay, doctor, can you see my screen?
I think we need time to. Yeah, you are still presenting. Ooh, what happened?
Okay, can see, yeah?
No.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
What's the
No, that's just my wallpaper. It's an anime. Nothing much about it. Okay, I'm out of the question.
all right?
Okay, so are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, so good evening, Dr. Aris. My name is Deshaun. Today, my group two, and I, we will be presenting about states of consciousness. So here are my group members, and later for our presentation, we will be following the order. I'll be the first one, and then Junyang, Dylan, Mirai, and Moaz. All right, and our matrix number will be there. Okay, so what is consciousness? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear you.
Okay. So what is consciousness? Consciousness is a state of being aware of one's existence, sensation, thoughts, and surrounding. So here's my source. I found it from here. Later you can check it. So consciousness is like you are aware of your surroundings. Imagine you were like 5 years old, you were 4 to 5 years old, and suddenly one day, ooh, you are aware of your surroundings. You can feel the things that you touch, and you can breathe, and then you can touch your own skin, something like that. And the second thing is continuum of awareness. Consciousness isn't just a on and off button, it's a sliding scale. So when you wake up, you don't just turn this on and then you start to focus on doing something. It's like a scale. It it's always shifting continuously. And next, now we'll be diving deeper into consciousness. So, like what I said just now, consciousness is a state of being aware of one's existence, sensation, thoughts, and surroundings. And consciousness has two sides: internal awareness and external awareness. Internal awareness is something like your thoughts. You feel hungry, and you feel some part of your body is sore or it hurts. So this is the internal part. And external awareness is like you are aware of your surroundings, the sound of the bus, the smell of someone eating durian, and so on. So internal awareness is something of like your private world. This includes your heart. So for example, when you're going to the gym and you are preparing yourself for a 100 km, I mean you're preparing yourself for a 100 kilogram squat. So you brace yourself, you feel the weight, the bar on your shoulders, and you do the squat. And external awareness is your public world, which is your reaction. For example, you wake up early at 7 in the morning and then you go for a swim and the water is cold. You can smell the chlorine and feel the cold of the morning. Yes. So this is it. Hey. Oh, okay. Okay, so like what I said just now, do you remember like when you are 4 to 5 years old and you suddenly feel like you have awakened, you just woke up? And have you ever realized that maybe you are just a piece of brain, a computer in the head, inside your skull, and you are controlling your human body. You are just controlling your human flesh. So you are the pilot inside the robot and you are just controlling the robot. Yeah. So now let's move on to continuum of awareness. Like I said, it's not an your conscious is not an on and off switch. It's a constant shifting of mental activity. Your mood depends on how much you sleep, how do you feel, any stress at the moment, what foods that you eat. It determines your conscious state. So there are a few levels officially described by the psychologists around the world. The first one is high awareness. You are on very high alert. You are locked in, highly focused, and you are concentrated. And it's mostly about decision making. For example, you are buying your first car. Of course, you need to spend a lot of time to think what car I should get, what loans should I take from what bank, etc., etc. So, and not just that, And before your race, you will give yourself some mental boost. So you need to focus on your feet, focus on your hand placement, and focus on your goal. And that is to win. The second thing is lower awareness. It's something like an autopilot or when you're daydreaming about your life. Then I'll give an example. For example, you were walking on the road and your friend texted you. So by instinct, you take out your phone and then you started scrolling your phone while you are walking. And it's like a automatic behavior that your body does because you walk a lot and it's not a very demanding activity. You don't need to focus on it. For example, you are doing a 100 kilogram squat. That thing takes a lot of energy and focus. But walking, it's an everyday thing and your body is already adapted to the activity. So it's not a stressful and demanding activity and you can do it while doing other things. And we call it multitasking. The third one is altered states of consciousness, where awareness of self and environment is significantly altered. Maybe you are driving and you feel really tired, and then you start getting sleepy, and people call it micro sleep. And that's where things become dangerous because you are not really aware of your surroundings. You know you are awake, but you are going to fall asleep soon. And the examples are sleeping, dreaming, hypnosis, intoxication, which is drinking. You drink alcohol, and flow state. Flow state, I'll touch a little bit about it. Later, my group members will talk about it even deeper. So flow state is basically a state where you're doing something, but you're not aware that you are doing something. For example, if you are a swimmer, you swim a lot, and your coach wants you to swim a long distance. For example, 10 kilometer swim in the morning. And while you swim, you started thinking about, oh, why I should get for dinner later, and what homework should I start to do first. While you are thinking that, your body responds, keep on swimming naturally without changing any position, and you just keep on doing the swimming movement with this correct biomechanics movement. And the fourth one, which is minimal to no consciousness. This is the lowest level of consciousness, non-responsive to any external stimuli. When you are, let's say when you are in a coma or you become in a vegetative state, no outside force can disturb you. Even you are in a coma, people slap your face, they touch your face, they do anything to you, you don't feel anything because you don't feel anything. You're in a coma. And next, low versus high awareness. Just now we mentioned about high and low awareness, which is one is you are very locked in, you are very serious about something because you give your 100% to that one activity. While lower awareness, it's more of you're multitasking something. You do multiple things at once. Your concentration is divided, not focused on one thing, but you can do a lot of things at once. So when you are listening to your lecture in the lecture hall, maybe the air conditioning is cold and the environment is very cozy, so you feel like sleeping. When you're playing games and you're in a ranked match, which affects your ranking, you will be more locked on. Like what Rose said just now during the Group 1's presentation, um, during a ranked match, which is a high awareness activity, you're more prone to top-down processing because based on your past experiences when you're playing games, and it takes a lot of brain power to make the right decisions when you are doing something important. And bottom-up processing is more to daydreaming in your lecture because you're not focusing, you're trying to sleep, and the surroundings like the air conditioning, the softness of the sofa, the sensory input affects your consciousness. So why do we have different level of awareness? Why is it important? Why can't we just stay focused in our highest awareness all the time? why we cannot do that? This is because if we are always in a high awareness state, the energy consumption will be very high. Like Xiaohan mentioned just now during the group one presentation, the threshold. You cannot maintain that energy for a long period of time because your body will burn out and you will feel more tired quickly because the energy consumption is very high. And when our body is able to switch from low awareness to high awareness and low awareness again, and when we go to sleep, it gives our brain some time to rest and also more efficient for other stuff. When we have energy conservation and let's say some very accidental things happen, maybe someone's trying to run you over with a car, they want to hit you with his car, and then when your brain have that energy to do the quick reflex, you'll be able to avoid that certain incident. So why is different levels of awareness important? First is to save energy, prevent your brain from burning out so that it keeps more energy, it's more efficient so that where your body can use the energy more efficiently, and it keeps us safe when energy is needed. All right, so that is all for me. And I will make a conclusion that consciousness is it's not just a static on or off button like I showed in the second slide, but a dynamic continuum of awareness because it keeps on changing all the time. We use control processing for high demanding tasks like heavy lifting or exams because we need to put all of our focus and energy into that one thing. And automatic processing, which is the low awareness thing, to handle our daily routines like walking, scrolling our phones, replying to messages, talk with friends, so that we won't get mental exhaustion that fast. We don't need to spend that much energy on thinking. However, our internal clock and biology dictates the shifts. Like when I first mentioned in the first and second slide, the things that we eat, enough sleep that we had, things like that, with outside of our control, will affect our consciousness. That is all for me. Got any questions? Anyone?
Thank you, Dasho. Dasho.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. Okay. When you prepare your slide, what did you
Okay.
learn? What did you learn? I mean, did you know all about this, or is there any new knowledge that you get?
I've actually like get to know some of the topics already, but
Mhm.
by preparing the presentation this time, I get to know that there's actually more to it. For example, the internal awareness and external awareness thing for consciousness, I always thought that it's one thing, but actually there's two things about it.
Mm.
And the continuum of awareness is a scale, right? It's not just on and off, it's a scale. So our body adapts to the surrounding, like what Xiaohan mentioned just now. Did I answer your question, Doctor?
Mhm. Yes, yes.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you. So I guess that it's not defined, but you explain about what the concept of consciousness. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the because your group's topic is the consciousness. So I think it's good that you open the your topics.
Yes. So late by me explaining this later, my group members, my amazing group members, will
And
continue
continue.
further explain the things.
Okay. Okay, let's see then.
Okay. The
Okay,
next one is Junyang.
Junyang. Okay.
Okay. Hi, good evening, Dr. Iris and my friends. I'm going to explain about biological clock and circadian rhythms and sleep of us. Okay. So, do you guys know that our body have its own clock? Okay. So it's called biological clock. It's an internal system that regulates the timing of biological processes like alertness, hunger, body temperature, and how our body know when to sleep. Okay. And the second thing is circadian rhythms. Okay. It's a cycle that takes place over 24 hours period in our day. Okay. It is responsible for our schedule of sleeping and wakefulness and is affected by light and dark along with our environment. And beyond sleep, it also regulates body temperature, digestion, hormone release, and physical performance. Okay. Before I explain how it works, I have some question for you, doctor. Okay. Doctor, when do you sleep at night and when do you usually wake up?
Okay, to be honest, I'm a night person, so I normally go to sleep around 2 a.m. and wake up 9 a.m. However, because I have a class, two courses in the morning, 8 a.m. this semester. So I tried to, go to sleep before 12, but, my body already adapted my uh, my rhythms. So it's very difficult. So actually, Tuesday and Wednesday is very tiring for me to, have a class at 8 a.m. Yes.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Okay, so everyone have different circadian rhythms. Everyone might fall asleep at different times. Like for me, I usually sleep at 1 a.m. and wake up at 9 a.m. Okay, it's different between me and doctors. Okay, so there's some effect if our circadian rhythm is disrupted. Okay, so if our circadian rhythms is disrupted, we will face insomnia. We can't sleep at night, and it is jet lag, shift work disorder, metabolic issues. Okay, so for insomnia and jet lag, I will explain it further for when I explain how it works. Okay, next. Dashawn. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is a circadian rhythm. So our body knows when to do things. Okay. Let's say for 7:30 a.m. So the melatonin secretion will stop, so that our body knows it is it is in the morning and we need to wake up. Okay. And at 9 p.m. Our body will know that it is night and melatonin secretion will start and we will start to feel sleepy. Okay, next. Next. Okay, so it is how it works. Okay, our body in our brain, in the hypothalamus, there's a structure called suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN. Okay, it's a tiny structure. It contains about 20,000 of neurons, and it is sensitive to light. It receives signal from the eyes via the optic nerve. Okay, so it is the it is the critical part that our body knows when to sleep. Okay, so during the day, when the SCN receive light from the sun, so the SCN will tell the pineal gland to stop producing melatonin. Instead of the cortisol hormone will be released, so that our body is alert and awake. And during the night, there's no light from sun, so that SCN will tell the pineal gland to start producing melatonin, so that we feel sleepy. Okay, this is called the melatonin switch. Okay, you can imagine the SCN is the switch, so that when it receives light, it will turn off, and if it don't receive the light, it will turn off. Okay, so it's also affected by blue light. Okay, it's primarily affected by blue light from the sunlight and also our screen, no matter iPad, computer, or our phones. So that if we use our handphones or computer at night, it is hard to sleep early because our body doesn't know that, oh, it was night, because the SCN still receives the lights from our phone. So the SCN thought it was at the morning. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the structure. You can see the suprachiasmatic nucleus is in our brain. Okay, so the daylight will inhibit the SCN to produce melatonin, and the night will stimulate the SCN to tell the pineal gland to release melatonin. Okay, next. Okay, so we have arrived to our sleep. Okay, so sleep is not just shut down, like our body just automatically shut down, like our phone, when you press the power off. It's a process. Okay, it has 4 stage. Okay, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and REM. Okay, so stage 1 until stage 3 is NREM. Okay, REM is stand for rapid eye movement, and NREM is non-rapid eye movement. Okay, so and then down there is a hypnogram. It's a timeline that record our sleep, whether how long we are in stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, and so on. Okay, so for the stage 1 is light sleep stage. Okay, before we enter stage 2 and stage 3. And when it is in stage 1, our brain activity is marked by theta wave. Okay, and during when we are stay awake, our brain wave is marked by beta wave. Okay, so when we are going to sleep, there's a wave transition. Okay, and during stage 2, it is still considered a light sleep state. So stage 2 is also marked by theta waves also, and it has occasional sleep spindles. Next slide, please. Okay, so you can see the first column. It is the brain wave of it's a wave of our brain during each stage. Okay, so when during N2 is the stage 2, there's a sleep spindles. So the function of the sleep spindles is for us to have to avoid being disturbed by noise from outside, and it's like a do not disturb sign, okay, for our brain. So we will disconnect from the outside, and it will block the external sound, so that preventing us from waking up due to the noises. Okay, and it is also function to our memory. Okay, so our brain will function during our memory will get better during this period. Okay, so for the N3, which is stage 3, it is the deep sleep stage. Okay, in this stage, we are deep sleep, and this is where we happens like sleepwalking, or sometimes you might hear your siblings or your father, mother, they will talk during sleep. This is where it happens. Okay, so for the last one, REM, REM. So rapid eye movement. During this stage, our eye is moved rapidly under our eyelid. Okay, so during this stage, normally we will undergo, we will dreaming. Okay, and our body will be paralyzed. Okay, so that during our dreaming, we don't move our body so that we avoid injured, like fell off the bed or kick something hard. Okay. So next. Okay. So for our biological clock and circadian rhythms and sleep is very important. This is because as you can see at the circadian rhythms, the clock, at 5 we have our peak physical performance. It's between 3 to 6. That's why most of the training we had is at the late afternoon. Okay. And sleep is important because during the deep sleep stage, which is stage 3, 70% of daily growth hormone is secreted. It is important for us to recover, uh, to repair the muscle and tissues. And also reaction time at 3 to 6 p.m. Our consciousness is sharpest and our reaction time are fastest. Uh, Back to the yeah, here. Okay, I missed something. So our sleep is basically a 90-minute cycle. Okay, so first is N1, N2, and it goes N3, and it doesn't go REM. It will go again N2, and from N2 it will change to REM. This is 190-minute cycle. So our body needs minimum 5 cycles, which is 7 hours and 30 minutes is enough for our body, or 6 is better. Okay. So next. Okay, so doing conclusion for my part. Circadian rhythms and our sleep is important so that have a better circadian rhythms can regulate our hormone, our body temperature well, and it helps us recover well. Yeah, that's all for me. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Jung Yang. So you explain about the stage of
Sleep.
Sleep. Yes. Okay, this is a very interesting question. Okay. Because you told us that in stages 3 and 4, we sleep deeply, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, sometimes when we dream, I feel more tired. You know what I mean? After dreaming,
Yes.
I felt tired. Why is this?
Okay, so doctor, do you mean that when you are dreaming, so suddenly you wake up and you are like foggy and you are like tired? Is it?
No, I mean sometimes because when we dream, that means the level of sleep is quite deep.
Yeah.
But after dreaming, sometimes I feel very tired, even though I did sleep.
Oh, this is because the brain is highly actively, sometimes more than when awake, so that to preventing the body from fully resting. And besides that, one is either doctor you didn't sleep enough, or you are being awake during the deep sleep stage. When you are being awake during the deep sleep stage, our body doesn't adapt that fast, and our brain are still in uh, it's marked by alpha waves, so it is low in intensity and consistent, so that it cannot react rapidly, so that you feel tired.
Hmm.
Am I answered the
Mm,
question?
okay, actually, I know the answer.
Okay, okay.
It's just I ask the question. Okay, actually, when we dreamed, for example, it's a very clear and very vivid dream. Actually, our brain activity is very high. It's similar to like wake. Uh, our stage is like wakefulness. So that's why the brain works very hard. So after dreaming, we feel very tired because of that. Because our brain was working hard, even though you're asleep, your brain is working very hard. That's why you feel like very tired, and uh, you feel very fatigued.
All right, doctor.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with doctor.
Hmm. When our brain was working very hard, even we are asleep, then after wake up, normally we feel very tired.
Yeah.
Especially you remember the dream
Yes.
because it's very vivid. And then sometimes our emotion focus on uh, the dreaming. You know what I mean? Sometimes you are crying when you wake up because you are so intense of your emotion into the dream. So you feel like this is not a dream. This is real happening. So I'm not sure. For me, I think one or two times, like when I woke up, I was crying. Because this is because the brain focus, you know, uh, I mean, the working very hard, and I felt that is the real situation. That's why I feel very tired. What about other people's thoughts? Do you have a same experience like me?
Yes.
Hmm. Right. But anyway, Jong Yang, very interesting part that you did, and you prepared very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, doctor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think everyone is the first year students, but I feel like you are like a senior.
No.
Everyone prepared very well. Okay.
Maybe we sound old.
Huh? Oh, really?
No lah, just kidding.
Okay. Okay. Who is the next?
Hello, Dylan.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah,
All right. What is your name?
Dylan Tawing Rachaga,
Uh,
2404226.
okay. All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna be presenting a subtopic from set of consciousness. It's basically selective attention. So, what is selective attention? It is basically the brain's ability to focus on one specific stimulus while ignoring others. It helps us concentrate on important tasks while filtering other distractions. And the brain cannot process all this information at once, so it would choose what is most important. It can be improved through practice, meditation, or even focus training. Next. Selective attention is also part of conscious awareness in psychology, and it helps us multitask during simple activities, but it reduces the focus in the complex ones. It basically, selective attention works automatically, but sometimes consciously too. It is also found that it helps athletes focus more during competitions. Next. So you might be wondering how it works in our brain, and there's actually a few factors to it. So the first part of the brain is the prefrontal cortex, where it helps control the attention and decision making of what information is important and what is to be ignored. So example for this is focusing on studying instead of looking at your phone. The second part is the parietal lobe. So it basically helps direct attention to specific objects and tasks, and it helps you focus on one stimulus in an environment. An example for this is listening to your lecturer inside a noisy classroom. The third factor is the thalamus. So the thalamus acts as a filter for your sensory information, sensory organs. It sends important signals to the brain and blocks unimportant ones. So basically, you're watching a YouTube video in a very noisy environment. The thalamus filters out the noisy noise. And the fourth being reticular activating system. So this system controls the alertness and consciousness. It helps the brain to stay awake and ready to focus. And fifth is the top-down and bottom-up attention. So the top-down attention is basically when you focus on a goal. For example, studying for an exam, the exam being the goal. And bottom-up attention is when there's a sudden stimulus. So when there's suddenly a loud noise or phone notification, your focus would be towards that. Next. So here are some examples. So when you're folding your clothes while watching YouTube, your brain will focus on folding the clothes and also watching the video. And hence the background noises or like other distractions will all be ignored. Second, will be playing your phone in the toilet. You'll be your brain will focus on the phone content and also pooping, and hence the surrounding environment will not be noticed. So if someone does break into your house while you're playing with your phone in the toilet, you might just get kidnapped. So next. Third example is studying in a noisy classroom. As you can see on the picture, a student is focusing on their notes on a book, and their friends and teachers are really noisy, but they're only focusing on the notes and book. And the fourth example is listening to a friend in a crowded cafeteria. So your brain would choose to focus on only that one person, and the other conversations are all filtered out, and the loud noises and all the other distractions. Next. So here's an example for athletes. So as you can see in the picture, I've chose hurdling. So the athlete in or starting off a hurdle race, they would focus at the start of the hurdle race, they would focus on the gunfire while ignoring the outside noises, being the distractions. So when they hear the gunfire, they would burst out of the blocks. And next is The athletes would only focus on their lane hurdles while ignoring the other athletes. This will help them. Um, oh, this will help them with their rhythm and also focus on their own technique, while the other distractions, being the other athletes, will be ignored. Next. So here's a short conclusion for selective attention. So it's actually a really important concept in psychology that explains how the brain focuses on the more important information while ignoring other distractions. It helps us stay conscious on what matters in daily life, basically like driving, doing your housework, or like studying. And through selective attention, you and me can improve concentration, our performances, and also decision making. So overall, selective attention plays a really important and key role in states of consciousness by helping us control our focus and awareness in different situations. So yeah, that's my part. Doctor?
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
So you explain about the selective attention. Very good. Sometimes we need this, right, to focus. But
And
the,
also multitasking.
okay, what factor can be influenced by the selective attention?
Yeah.
What factor can be influenced by what?
What factor can we can you say it again? Doctor?
Okay, there's what what factor can be influenced to their selective attention?
Or what factors can you influence? What factor? Directing.
Playing from desktop
sorry.
PGB 6 BBB.
Sorry, that's my Alexa.
Okay, so actually this is attention, right?
Yeah.
So
The goal and also like the sudden stimuli.
Can you think about our body?
Our body.
Not external factor, internal factor.
Stress, fatigue.
Yes, stress, fatigue, or the emotional state can be can influence on the attention, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you enjoy to prepare your topic?
Yeah, because selective attention runs through my daily life too, so I'm quite interested in it.
Okay. You know, the reason that I ask the students to prepare their presentation is after this semester, at least you can remember your part, you know. So this is the one of the reason that I ask students to prepare the topics. Okay, but anyway, thank you. What Dylan?
Dylan.
Dylan. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Okay, thanks, doctor.
Okay. So who are the next person? We have two people left. Mirai.
Yeah,
How can I call you Mirari?
Mirai. I'm Mirai.
Mirai. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, please proceed it.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm going to talk about the first state. First state is a mental state where you are fully focused and completely measured in what you are doing. Flow happens when the challenge of a task matches your skill level. So if the task is too easy, you feel bored. If it's too hard, you feel stressed. But when the challenge is just right, you can enter flow. Next.
Okay, so flow happens at the balance between challenge and skill. If the challenge is too low, your brain isn't stimulated enough, so you lose focus. Like if the challenge is too high, you feel anxiety or pressure, or maybe even frustration. So, for example, think of learning a new skill like playing guitar. If the song is too simple, you get bored. If it's too difficult, you get frustrated. So flow is the balance point. So next, please. So I'll explain about characteristic of flow. So when you are in flow, several things happen. For example, first, you lose sense of time. So, for instance, you might start at 4 p.m. and suddenly realize it's 5 p.m. So hours can pass without nothing. Second, you lose ego. So you stop worrying about what others think. Fear doesn't distract you. So you just focus on what needs to be done. So your actions feel natural and automatic, and you perform at your best without overthinking. Oh, next, please. So let me give you an example from running. So imagine you've already run 10 kilometers. At first, you might feel tired or think about stopping. But after a while, you enter rhythm. Your mind focuses only on the rhythm of running. You are no longer thinking about time, uh, distance, or fatigue. You just keep running naturally. This is flow state, or you are fully absorbed in the activity. You are performing at your best and it feels almost effortless. Also, flow state is different from runner's high. So flow state is about focus and performance. Uh, it happens when challenge meets skill. So runner's high is about feeling good, the enjoyable sensation that comes after running. So flow is about being fully engaged. Runner's high is about Runner's high is about pleasure or excitement. Next, please. Yeah, so in conclusion, flow state helps us such as focus deeply, uh, perform at our best, enjoy what we are doing. So flow happens when the challenge of a task matches your skill level. That's all.
All right, thank you, Mirai. Okay, actually, this flow state is quite important in sports psychology because when we have this flow state, your performance will be very perfect because you don't feel any stress, you don't feel any anxiety. So now then, how can we have this experience
Uh-huh.
like for example, because you are you are talking about the athletes. So then
Uh-huh.
the important thing is how can we have this experience, flow state?
So I talked about
Then can you just give me a simple answer?
simple answer.
Simple.
Yeah. I so I am from Japan. Uh, I when I sorry, I'm thinking now.
So this is the sports psychologist.
Yeah.
Chess.
Uh,
This flow state is very, very important. And normally the elite athletes have this flow state often compared to the beginners. So now the problem is how can we have this experience, flow experience often when we have a competitions? This is actually quite important questions.
Mhm.
So what is the condition that we can have this flow state?
So when I learn, when I learn, so first state, for I think first state generally I think I think getting into a first state requires balancing a challenging task with easier skill level, setting goal and eliminating distraction to foster deep concentration.
So you are saying the concentration is important?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one of factor. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, the Dylan said the selective attention, right? This is related to this flow state is also important. Okay, so she said, like you said, the concentration, right? Concentration when you do the concentration, it's okay. The concentration is a quite broad concept, but especially the selective attention is very essential factor for this. And also you also need to have a optimal the arousal level for the flow states. And also you also need should have a psychological readiness for that. So actually it's not only one factor can influence. No, there are several factors influence the flow state. So that's why, for example, especially the elite athletes, they know what to do, okay, and they are ready for the competitions, and also their concentration is very high, right? So then we can have this flow states.
Oh.
So now in the sports psychology, we want to, I mean, the athletes, when athletes experience about the flow state, often that means their performance will be good. So
Yeah.
so that's why this is how can we make the situation that when the athletes have this flow state often. This is one of how can I say, one of important.
Yeah, I just want to show you guys the picture of a former tennis player, Rafael Nadal. He's a Spanish tennis player. Uh, he is one of the he is the one that have the best mental game in tennis for me personally. For an example, he will play. Rafael Nadal has this unorthodox movement or routine before he take serve. For example, just before when he's going to take the serve, he will wipe his sweat. He will adjust his shirt, his grip, and then he will bounce the ball for a few times. And people even sometimes mocks him. But that's just him doing his routine to basically shift his consciousness from the self one to self two. Okay, next one, next slide. Okay, so to wrap up our group's presentation, consciousness Whether you are studying about fundamentals of psychology or playing a sport, the goal is to be master of your state. Don't let self-one critique ruin your performance. Learn to shift right state of awareness and you will find that things becomes much easier and effortless. That's all from me. And any question?
Manzu, Muazu,
Okay, yeah.
um, why your part is so short?
What? Come again?
Your part is so short.
Oh, I try to make the slides simplified as I can, and I would try to explain it to you guys by I'm talking as much as I can, because basically my topic and my part is basically to tell our class on how we can practice the self consciousness into our sports.
Because I told you that I evaluate individually. So actually, like for example, the other group, for example, one person summarized all the the content later. This one, I just evaluate what he said. Do you know what I mean? So no need to summarize for the group topics, because I evaluate individually. There is no teamwork, no, I just evaluate what you present.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So my part is basically the one that practicality of how we can change our consciousness.
Okay, then can you give us one more example
One more example. Okay.
about how to change the consciousness?
How to change? Okay. So just as what I said before, there's two, external and internal. So let's say for an example, we can for example, real life example, I'll give you. Do you guys notice that most of the time, athletes, before they went into their competition, for example, before a footballer went into the pitch, the football pitch in their locker room, or just before a swimmer went into the pools, they will try to like move their they will try to like make their consciousness change from normal daily life consciousness to competitive mood. So they will use music as their external stimuli, just to make them shift their consciousness. And for example, most of the songs would be like high beat songs, such as "The Eye of Tiger" by The Survivor. That is one of the songs that are being heard by Carlos Alcaraz, a Spanish tennis player, whenever before he went into the court.
I think that is one of a way to increase the optimal arousal level.
Yeah.
Okay, but sometimes, because I study about the religion, okay, religion in sports, and the most religious players, they pray, because many athletes, they are very anxious, or their anxiety level is quite high, especially in a very big international competitions. Let's imagine that you are the archery, the player. Then you are one shoot can decide gold medal and the silver medal. Okay.
Okay.
This case, you are very anxious. Your anxiety level is very high. And
Okay.
then notice that the religious players, they need to, reduce their anxiety level. So one of the way that they, they reduce the anxiety level is the pray. So they pray to the guard that I'm ready. I've done what I have to do, and now it's up to you. So they this is the way that they reduce their anxiety.
Yes. Uh, Absolutely. Because another example I can give you from the aspect of religious player is a footballer named Mesut Ozil. He's a former footballer playing for Team Arsenal, the greatest team. So whenever before he takes a penalty shootout or a free kick, or basically before play a very important match of his life, he will raise his hand and pray to God, because he is a Muslim player. So we often see him uh, relies on God, as that is how he will lower his state of arousal and make sure he become more smooth. I mean, he becomes so chill that he will just play as how he usually play.
I think this, so you can see this kind of the players that they pray in a very critical moment. You can see many cases in sports. This is one of, we cannot say the prayer is a tool, but this is how they how can say, they prepare their competition. And also sometimes, as a team, they pray together, especially when your religion is same. It's like if you are it's Islamic, then they pray together before do the competition. That means they try to control their emotions, uh, for the competitions. So we can see this a lot of times. So that's why I'm working on this area. And before we in sports psychology, we ignore this religious belief part, that we just under estimate about this part. However, so that's why not many scholars do this research about this area. And then now I'm doing it, but I don't have any religion, so I'm a very good position that to study about this area. It's quite interesting, and to see how the belief, the faith can influence on their athletes' performance. It's quite interesting. Okay, but all right. I just want to say to everyone, this presentation, also the next presentation as well, I don't really check the teamwork, no, because I don't. I always, the evaluate individually. So based on your presentation, I evaluate. Okay, there is no teamwork. The reason that they make the group is that just you divide the topic, subtopic to present, because I don't want to listen the same thing again. So that's why I have a group. Okay, so please remember that I evaluate based on your presentation. So no need to do the conclusion, no need to do the summary of the topic, no need. Some group, one person introduce, and then later on the same person do the conclusion. This one I give you very low marks, because there is no content of your part. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please remember that the second presentation the same. No need introduction, or no need you know, a summary for the topic. So you know, the person just introduce, not, there's no content to present, then is how can I evaluate you? Do you understand my point?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, doctor.
Sorry, my internet just, you know, disconnected just now. Ay. All right. But anyway, thank you so much for joining this class. From next week, we will do the physical class, okay? And do you have any questions?
No, doctor.
No question.
Okay, thank you. Generally, overall, I like the group 1 and group 2 presentation, even though there's a lack of time to prepare. All of the group members, they prepared very well. Okay, I felt like you are like senior, not the first year students. I'm very happy about this. Okay, so next week, group 4, be prepared. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, and see you next week.
Thank you,
Thank you,
doctor.
doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay.
Doctor.